Good afternoon to all of you. Distinguished and outstanding son of India and my old friend Shri Ram Madhavji, Professor Shri Prakash, Director, University of Delhi South Campus, Professor Sanjeev Singh, Joint Director, University of Delhi South Campus, Dr. Vikas Gupta, Registrar of the University, Principals, Head of the Departments, Directors, Deans, respected faculty members, invited guests, my dear friends and my dear students, good afternoon to all of you. So today we are here to discuss about a book written by Shri Ram Madhavji, Partitioned Freedom. This is a very, very different but very important book. I would like to thank my friend Ram Madhavji for writing such a wonderful book. I have read the book. I also understood the book. When I was going through the book, my eyes were struck on the first chapter title. Nobody wanted it, but nobody stood up. Nobody wanted it, but nobody stood up. It's a very thought-provoking. Nobody wanted it, but nobody stood up. Nobody wanted from Indian side, yes, but Muslim League wanted. Nobody stood up, then the question arises, why? This why is very important, why nobody stood up? No Indian, on 15th August 1947, no Indian slept that night. Some were busy in celebrations. Some were confused, some were worried, some were helpless due to chaos, some were in pain, some were thinking about the future of their families and the future of India, but nobody stood up. Some were busy here and there, but nobody stood up. How many died due to this partition? How many died? Nobody knows. Nobody made a list. Official list is also not available. We can speculate only. In Punjab alone, it may have been 500,000 killed. More than 5 lakhs people killed in Punjab only. This independence was delivered to millions of innocent Indians in a different way. Such a good quote by Ram Madhavji, because destruction of property, raping and kidnapping of their women in front of their eyes. We can easily imagine the situation, such an horror. Incineration of their homes, murders and killings of innocent Indians. Millions were uprooted. Millions were uprooted. No one stood up for them also. Why? After 75 years of independence now, time has come. We have to think about this. Why we have to think about this? Why? That I will discuss after some time. But the point is, why did this tragedy take place? Who are responsible and who were responsible for this tragedy? Many were disturbed. Many were displaced. Nobody stood up. Sir Cyril Radcliffe was Mr. Radcliffe was a young lawyer in London. One day he was appointed as the chairman of the Boundary Commission. He came to India on July 8th, 1947, just 37 days before independence. He came to India. That was his first visit in India. He was having no idea about Indian culture, ethos, systems. Everything was very new to him. He also said that I have not seen map of India before coming to this place. But his report was released. Submitted first in August 12th, after 36 days. And it was released on August 17, 1947. 2 days after independence. It means what? On 15th August, nobody knew People were speculating. Some people might have some idea about the whole thing, but the common persons were confused. Where to go, how to go, what would we do? It could have been easily avoided. But why it happened? But reality is nobody stood up. India Independence Act 1947 came into force on July 15, 1947, we all know. Winston Churchill, who was the Prime Minister, but he lost election after Second World War. And he became the leader of opposition in British Parliament. When this bill came for discussion in British Parliament, actually Churchill was against granting freedom to India from the very beginning. He was deadly against India and Indians. And he said, which Ram Madhavji has rightly quoted, Mr. Clement Attlee, Indians are incapable of ruling themselves. Power will go into the hands of rascals, rogues, and freebooters. The blood of these hungry millions will be on your head. Why do you want to take this? He further said, these Indians do not understand even D of democracy. If you give power to them, there will be chaos in the whole system. Who will be responsible? You will be responsible, Mr. Attlee. But after the debate, and because Attlee government was for the independence due to many reasons, we got independence. But after 75 years of independence, now we can confidently say, Mr. Winston Churchill, you were wrong on that day. India is the largest and deepest democracy of the world. We not only practice democracy, but we also inspire and ignite many other countries to practice democracy. We have proved you wrong, Mr. Churchill. But the partition had not only created two countries, but also two enemies. Cyril Ratcliffe later said in London, I had no alternative. The time at my disposal was so short that I could not do a better job. Given the same proposal, I would do the same thing. However, if I had 2 or 3 years, I might have improved on what I did. It means what? He wanted 2 to 3 years, but the job was completed in 36 days. We easily can understand now, after 75 years of independence, what could have been better. While nobody wanted partition of India, nobody was there to stand up against it when the real movement came. Many people were against partition. Many have written books also. Many had expressed their views prior to partition. But when real movement came, nobody stood up. Why? After 75 years of independence, this why should be discussed on academic platforms, universities and higher education institutions. I am extremely thankful to my friend Ram Madhavji to write a book on this subject, that Indian universities, now we should discuss this. Why? Many questions are unanswered, or because why they are important. Why they are important? Because we don't want to repeat those mistakes. Ram Madhavji has indicated to a very intriguing fact that in 1905, when the partition of Bengal was announced by British Raj, an all India movement under the leadership of Lal Bal Pal vigorously put resistance and ultimately forced the government. After 6 years, in 1911, the decision was withdrawn. But when Jinnah took a call for a partition, the whole national leadership failed to prevent it. They did not even voice. There was no, articles were also not written. It means what? Slowly and steadily something had happened. actually what was the position of Jinnah? This is very important. We have to understand this. What was the position of Jinnah? Muslim League has miserably lost in Muslim constituencies in the provincial elections of 1937, because Government of India Act 1935 came in force in 1937, and first these provincial elections took place, and Muslim League was defeated in Punjab and Bengal. They just got 4.8% of the vote. Union's party in Punjab and Krishak's Praja Party in Bengal, both Muslim parties were victorious, but they were not party to the whole thing. They were not invited for any discussion. They were not invited for any discussions. Why Jinnah became the sole proprietor of Muslim identity and voice? This why is also to be discussed now after 75 years of Indian independence. Muhammad Iqbal, when this defeat came, this Iqbal suggested Jinnah to change now, please change the epicenter. Because now your focus is, he said, constitutional safeguards for Muslims. And our author has beautifully explained this, that now please change this constitutional safeguard for Muslim to cultural incompatibility with Hindus. Cultural incompatibility with Hindus. That we don't want to live with Hindus. Because constitutional safeguard, because they just lost this election, they were not having any ethical and moral authority in the Muslim society also. He advised Jinnah to appeal, that please appeal to the Muslims that established law of Islam. This Muhammad Iqbal, जिसने क्या लिखा था, सारे जहां से अच्छा हिंदुस्तान हमारा, हम बुलबुलें हैं इसकी, ये गुलसिता हमारा, ऐसे ही था ना? यूनान मिश्र रोम सब मिट गए जहां से, पर अब तक है बाकी नामो निशा हमारा, कुछ बात है कि हस्ती मिटती नहीं हमारी, सदियों रहा है दुश्मन दौरे जमा हमारा. इतनी अच्छी बात लिखी, मानी नहीं, करी नहीं, एंड ही बिकेम द आर्किटेक्ट ऑफ पाकिस्तान. तो ये गाना हमको क्यों गाना चाहिए? ये हमको क्यों गाना चाहिए? हम 15 अगस्त पे इसको गाते हैं. लिखने वाले ने पार्टीशन कराया, इसको हमको क्यों गाना चाहिए? इसको नेगेटिव लिस्ट में क्यों नहीं डालना चाहिए? वाई? सोचने की जरूरत है. कोई जरूरत नहीं है इसको गाने की, क्या जरूरत है? और बहुत हमारे राइटर्स हैं, पोएट्स हैं, आज नए नए हैं, बहुत अच्छा लिख देंगे, इससे अच्छा भी लिख देंगे. सोचने की बात है. So I would like to congratulate Ram Madhav ji for this book, to understand the time and timings of partition. But what now? Past is past. It has happened. What happened, happened. What happened, happened. What are the lessons for us? Government of India, that's why Government of India has decided and declared August 14 as Partition Horror Remembrance Day. कुछ लोग सोचते होंगे कि क्यों कर रहे हैं, घावों को उघाड़ने की क्या जरूरत है, अननेसेसरी क्या जरूरत है इसको डिस्कस करने? इसको जरूरत है, because we don't want to repeat those mistakes now. We don't want to repeat those mistakes now. We have to make India powerful, prosperous and progressive nation. पर हमें अपनी जनरेशंस को ये बताते रहना है कि ये कैसे हुआ. इसलिए नहीं बताना कि हम कोई और कुछ चाहते हैं, इतना चाहते हैं कि आगे ऐसा ना हो. अब अगर कोई जिन्ना ये कॉल करे, पूरा देश खड़ा हो जाए इसके खिलाफ. शायद ये राम माधव जी का इसका लिखने का है कि पूरा देश खड़ा हो जाए कि ये ऐसा नहीं हो सकता. नाउ यू कांट डू इट. Something which had happened in 1947, now it is not possible in India. This new India will not tolerate such nonsense and nuisance. For this we have to अपने बच्चों को बताना है, उनके बच्चों को बताना है कि कैसे हुआ था उस समय और आगे ना हो. ये बहुत बहुत जरूरी है कि ये दुर्घटना आगे ना हो जाए. किताब इसकी चिंता करती है. That's why, my dear friends, always remember, partition was not merely a loss of territory, but vivisection of our motherland. We should always remember this. पाकिस्तान का बनना हमारे साथ ही नहीं बुरा हुआ, संसार के साथ भी बुरा हुआ. ये न बनता तो आज टेररिज्म इतना नहीं होता. ये न बनता तो आज इतने निर्दोष लोगों की जो दूसरी दुर्घटनाओं में जान जाती है वो न जाती. ऐसा बहुत कुछ न होता ये न बनता तो. पर चलिए बन गया. after 75 years of Indian independence, it's our duty and responsibility to create that environment where no Jinnah can have courage to say such things, because he should be scared and worried that if I say something against India, the whole India will stand up. So this is why we should discuss, debate in our university environment, not only political scientists, but we all are sons and daughters of this great nation. It is our responsibility to protect the interest of our country. If we will not do it, who will do it? That's why this book is very, very important, must read for all of you. Please read this book, understand the concepts which have been explained in a very different language, a very interesting way. Again, I would like to thank Ram Madaji for such a wonderful book. Thank you very much.